Her question is, how do you know that you're progressing on the spiritual path? When people start calling you crazy, you are doing just fine. That means there was a saint, and it was very famous of him that most of his disciples attained enlightenment. And somebody approached that saint, he was a Sufi mystic, and said, is it true that all your followers eventually gain enlightenment? He said, absolutely, it's set in the stone, without a doubt. How do you know? He said, how can you be so sure? How can you say that such and such person has attained enlightenment? And the saint said, look, every evening I dance like crazy for no rhyme and reason. I dance, and a lot of people dance with me. In the morning, those who leave me, I know they have attained enlightenment. Those who say that he's a crazy guy and leave, I know they have found their truth. First thing, if you walk this path, be prepared to be misunderstood always. I'm saying it with utmost seriousness. Most people will not understand you. They would really actually call you nuts. They'll say, this guy has gone crazy, he's now following some Swami, or going to some ashram, or he's reading too many books, or he's getting sucked into some cult or sect, and so on. People will call you crazy. They will tell you you are wrong. They will tell you you're not going on the right path. But that aside, maybe they are right, who knows? So give them benefit of doubt. So that aside, how do you know you're actually progressing? The first thing is, you would calm down just generally in your life. That's the first sign. If you don't feel that calm and peace in your heart and mind, you are not progressing, no matter what you like to think of yourself. You can look very dazzling. You can look very spiritual. You can wear those chakra pendants and all those things, and that doesn't mean anything. So the first thing is, you calm down. Second, you become somewhat grounded in everything. You slow down. The desire to run around and run in a rat race diminishes, comes down, and in fact it becomes heavy. That's really the only way to know if you are progressing. You realize that, why am I running all over the place? Why am I running from pillar to post? To attain what? This can also happen if you're depressed, by the way. Yes, depression will also make you feel, look, I just don't have the energy to do anything. Tiredness is not enlightenment. People around you will become tired of your enlightenment and stuff, but tiredness is not enlightenment, I'm telling you. A practical aspect. If your sleep pattern is good, if you wake up fresh, you feel calm, more importantly, you feel happy inside, warm. Life feels complete. That means you're progressing on the path. When more and more you feel that way. And the third thing is, you develop compassion. You see, before any progression or before walking the spiritual path, there are only three things, three dimensions of your existence that you're mostly concerned with. I, me, mine. You don't know what's you or yours or theirs. Where is I in it? I just have to worry about that. That's the first sign of a non-spiritual person, believe me. He or she may have meditated for 20 years, but if they don't have that spirituality in them, that self-centeredness will really be the hallmark of the existence of a person who's going to be eternally sad and depressed. So that self-centeredness kind of starts to fizz away and gives way to compassion. You realize that my happiness is actually very much dependent on the happiness of those around me. That I don't have to only think about me in order to be happy. I also have to think about others to be happy. The fourth thing you gain is wisdom. It's a very key point. You, by compassion, by goodness, by all that, I'm not saying, as I use the term quite often, that you become a doormat. That people will shout at you, yell at you, and you say, thank you very much, I would like to hear some more of that. Wisdom is the ability to protect yourself wherever you need to, and to be firm wherever you need to. And honestly, I cannot really tell you how to be firm and how to protect yourself, because I haven't figured that out myself yet. I have never been able to protect myself. And you pay a big price for that. But, well, maybe that's the price you've got to pay. But you develop this wisdom. You develop this sense of discrimination. It's a word that's used so often in many texts of yoga and Advaita, non-dualism, that discrimination. But discrimination not in the sense to discriminate, that this is or good or bad. It's used in the sense that you develop that intuition or wisdom that what is good and what is bad at an individual level. For me, a fool is always sure about everything in life, An ignorant person is always certain about everything. A wise person always leaves some room for doubt. So when you think, oh, I know this is what it is, I've figured out life, you still haven't progressed. Or at least your progress has stalled. But when you rise above these concepts and you just learn to flow with life, doing what you ought to do, not running away from your responsibilities, not using spirituality as a way of escaping the truth of your own life, then you are certainly progressing. So that calm in your mind and heart, that grounded, that you found your kind of anchor, and that compassion and wisdom. If these four things flourish in you, then you're progressing on the path. But if you still feel that surge of anger in you, if you still feel, I have to get this at any cost, this other person can go down the drains, I don't care, and so on, that means grave challenges still remain in your consciousness.